How do you be successful in real estate? What's up, my friends? Kris Krohn here, done thousands of deals. And if you want to be successful in real estate, I thought today I'd shoot a video doing something a little bit different. I'm actually going to bring a brother-in-law onto the set and actually have him share what his experience was, because he and I got started years ago. And in a short period of time, he's actually done a ton of real estate. He's definitely creating his own financial future, and he's already mega successful. But dude, the kid started in vending machines. So, school's in session.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
So check it out here. I got my brother Kris here, man. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing, Kris?
Dude, awesome. So guys, in full disclosure, I want you to get this. So Kris actually, he works with me inside my company. He's actually part of my power team. And I'm always showing you people from the other side of the world and the other side of the country doing deals. Today I thought, you know what? Dude, let's do something fun and different. Let's actually get you on the inside and realize that a lot of our team members on the power team, dude, they're out there doing real estate, building portfolios. And yet we all started from kind of normal school of life. So dude, glad to have you here, man. Thanks.
Hey, glad to see you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So dude, do you mind just briefly just giving us a little bit about your story and talk to them? I want them to hear it from you.
Yeah, no worries. So Kris, I've known you for a better part of a decade now. We came together, yes, we did marry sisters. I like his wife, she's great. I think mine's better, but that's okay. We can all agree to disagree there. I'm one of those guys, if you can relate, you're one of those hardworking people. You're working a 9 to 5, you're getting things done. And I was one of those guys who I've always been a little bit more financially conservative. I like having a budget, I like having savings, I like having an emergency fund. And I was
telling him that you were working vending machines when you got started.
This is true.
Dude, you put on some crazy muscle actually, like driving around town in a truck and basically filling up vending machines, right?
Yeah, I was throwing probably about 80 cases of 20-ounce sodas a day, going through about 6 boxes of chips and more Snickers bars than you ever want to eat in a lifetime.
Dude, and listen, I don't want to be rude or anything, but that's not exactly what you would call like a high-paying job, or not necessarily something that requires a college degree or anything, right?
It was good for its time and its phase, and I'm grateful I had it. What that job gave me the ability to do was practice adulting. It gave me a full-time job. I was working probably 60 hours a week. I was making okay money, getting about 10, 15 hours of overtime.
Okay, pause. Can you relate, right? Like, you know what it's like to feel like I'm busting it, people. I'm putting in my 40 or 50, in his case, 60 hours. And because you were a good saver, I mean, you were putting some money away and you were getting ahead, you are super intentional with, hey, if I'm gonna work and I'm gonna get this money coming in, I'm gonna be smart with it, right?
Correct, yes. It was a job. I went there, I did a dang good job. I made my boss some good money, came home, did my thing. In the stage of life, me and my wife had just gotten married. She was working part-time. We were looking at long-term what our future looked like and what we wanted to build together as a couple. And really, real estate helped us, was the piece of the puzzle we needed to really free her up and allow us to achieve our vision.
So dude, let's get real with each other, because I'm just telling you right now that to my brother-in-law, I think he thought I was a douchebag. We hadn't really connected yet. And I remember the first time we actually sat down and actually kind of got to know each other a little bit. And it was like awkward, uncomfortable, but I feel like it's when you and I actually like got to really know each other for the first time. And it also ended up opening some doors that I didn't intend, because I remember when you sat down in my office with Kira and you're like, all right, let's talk real estate. In my mind, I'm like, dude, what if this doesn't work out? Like, you know what they say about doing business with family? And even though I'd had success with my father-in-law doing crazy stuff, I also didn't want to ruin a relationship. And that might be a concern some of you have had. But dude, you've gone on to freaking crush it. So what happened next?
It all started kind of there. You had a piece of the puzzle I needed. I was naturally a conservative mindset. I had good money in savings. My wife was working full time, and we had this vision together that somehow over the next couple of years, we wanted to transition. We wanted to start bringing kids into the world, raise a family. And our goal was really to have my wife have the luxury of staying home and being a mom with our kids all day, every day. And I knew that going from a dual income household to a single income household was going to be a problem with what we were currently making.
Okay, so this is actually important, because a lot of people are watching this, are like, well, dude, I'm in a committed relationship, or I'm married, you know, and there's a lot of people watching this that are like, hey, I want to retire my spouse for different reasons, maybe he's have a family, or you might be thinking, dude, I want to retire myself. Like, I don't really like what I do. Sounds like you had a master plan, right? Like your first goal was bring, you know, your wife home from work so that you guys could kind of live your lifestyle the way that you wanted it.
Correct, and every family has their own journey, different priorities. My job isn't to tell you what works for everyone, but for me and my wife, our highest goal for that early stage in our 20s was find a way to bring my wife home. And for me, real estate was that missing piece of the puzzle that would create that income stream that would allow me to bring her home and start a young family and be able to create the vision of our life for what we wanted it to be.
So there's got to be a why behind what you're doing, and the why's got to motivate you to action, because motivation means motive to act. And so in your situation, we sat down, we built out a game plan, and you guys were starting with just a little bit of savings, but you were able to parlay that into your first deal.
Indeed.
Can you tell us just a little bit about the first deal?
I can, yeah. No, I'm kind of more of a visual guy. You mind if I draw it up real quick?
Yeah, dude, the whiteboard's right here, man. Throw it up.
Perfect. So I'm known for my artistic ability. I can draw stick figures like nobody's business.
Okay, awesome. Stick figure madness, here we come.
So we started out with myself.
Wow, there's already something wrong with that picture.
And my beautiful wife. Yes, this is as good as I get. We both had jobs, so we were both bringing home some money.
I just need to know, are you always drawing people's heads over their necks?
Well, the spinal column actually comes back through the behind the neck a little bit and rises up further,
There's
so we're good.
anatomical correctness going in his mind right now.
I'm just that good of an artist.
All right.
So we knew we had some money, we were setting aside some in savings, and this is kind of where our journey kind of ended. We had some cash, it wasn't a ton, but I knew I needed a vehicle, something that would help turn this into an income stream.
And pause, if you guys want to be crazy successful in real estate, we're about to show you how he got several homes, but I want you to understand that rule number one when I get with anyone is always PYF. Pay yourself first. You're not going to work for the bills. You're not going even to work for food, as important as that is. And you're certainly not going to pay your cell phone bill. You're going first and foremost to make sure you get an ROI on you, which means there's got to be something left over at the end, which means do it the other way around. Pay yourself first, then pay your bills. You were doing that very successfully. You put a tiny little nest egg together, and then what happened?
Yeah, so when I was sitting down with Kris and I was learning about real estate, I'm like, real estate is a tool that I can use to make my money start working for me. And that's really the first thing that Kris gave me, is you outlined a plan for me of how to turn this nest egg into our first property.
Nice.
Now, so we sat down with Kris and the team, and I knew that I wasn't quite ready yet. So we looked at this, we bought a house. We bought this house in Arizona back in 2008, and Kris sat down and his team did a great job laying out the math of how it works. And frankly, 2.5 years later, we'd blown past the numbers they put on the screen and already had a fantastic ROI. To make a long story short, this one house we sold for $80K profit. It turned itself into 2 little babies, which produced enough in cash flow to replace my wife's income, and she came home.
Okay, pause, just check this out. This is so cool. You delay gratification, you pay yourself, put it in a home. Now in Kris's situation, he wanted to get with an expert team doing thousands of these. And so when he says that we exceeded expectations, that's what we try to do across the board by already putting you in the best places. Some of you got to start, if you got to start with nothing, you might start with your backyard, click the link below, learn more about that. But some of you like Kris, it was, hey, if you want it done right, don't do it yourself. You want to have a team of experts step in. That philosophy changed my world. So if you want something done right, don't do it yourself. 1 home became 2. You brought your wife home from work, which all of a sudden the lifestyle was there. What happened next?
Well, honestly, this is where, looking backwards, we did some things right, some things wrong. We started taking this income into our personal life to augment, and I went, that's not going to work. I need to find something else, because I knew that the minute you start taking that,
hey, you don't want to live off your nest egg.
Things slow down. So this is when I started looking at a career change. If I need to find something more profitable than vending machines,
Smart.
that I can exchange my time for something more valuable. And that's frankly when I approached Kris. I said, hey, Kris, you've got a great job, you've got a growing team. I think I'm starting to understand real estate because I've done a couple of deals, and I want to help people do what I've done. Is there room on the team?
Dude, and that was, by the way, he made his move. He showed up in a freaking huge way. We've been working together for how many years now?
About 8 years now.
So in the last 8 years, what then happened?
Well, honestly, I was able to speed things up. Because I increased the amount of money I could exchange for my time, I didn't have to divert this anymore.
Okay.
Which meant that this could go back into savings, and it meant that these
You made more babies.
made some more babies.
Dude, rockin'.
And that really is the secret as an investor. I made a mistake. I started taking money out, and now I did it, and I don't regret bringing my wife home. But every time you do that, it slows things down in a big way.
Instead of speeds things up, when you were able to put it back in your investing lane, how many homes do you have now?
Goodness, I have right now 4 homes, but I've bought a total of 8 homes using your guys' services, including pure investment homes. I've bought primary residences that I've converted into properties. Everything, when you're doing real estate, the key as an investor is to make your money work harder than your time does.
Boom. Guys, did you see what he just said right there? The key as an investor, first of all, pay yourself first. 2, invest the difference. And then number 3, you got to make your money work harder than you do. Right now, Kris has done 8 homes. He's got 4 of them that are slaving away every single day for him. And what do you think's next to the game plan?
Goodness, it depends on what the market does. The market will tell me when it's time for each of these 4 to spin off and produce 2 more babies.
So you're going to turn 4 to 8.
For sure. But here's the powerful thing, at least for me. Let's assume that tomorrow I wake up and I decide to do nothing. That my real estate journey's over. I'm already retired. Because fast forward, these mortgages are paid off. I then own 4 properties free and clear, and the cash flow coming in replaces both those, and I'm done. Now, I don't want to be done because my dreams and my visions are bigger than that. But even if I did nothing today, in 20 years, I'm retired.
Dude, I want you guys to get what my man Kris actually just told you right now. First of all, he's got a plan. It started lifestyle driven, and he's got a future lifestyle that he's building. But today's video is about teaching you some of these core principles. One, I got people on my team that are actually out there crushing it, just like all of our investors are out there actually doing deals right now. They're living and breathing this stuff. Two, leverage someone else's resources, leverage someone else's time, leverage someone else's efforts, let them go to work for you. Because if you want something done right, consider not doing it yourself. And then number 3, the biggest thing is Kris has a plan that if he stopped working today, he now has assets that are going to continue working and building and growing for him. So dude, Kris, if you could give any final advice to anyone that wants to know how to be successful in real estate, what would you share?
First off, realize there's a difference between doing real estate activities to earn money, which is valid and it's a great way to raise capital, and moving and transitioning into being an investor and making your money work for you. Now, the truth is that once you've got 4 homes or 8 homes or 16 homes or whatever, you can't afford to be swinging the hammer yourself.
Yeah.
Because your time is more valuable than that. The best money I've ever made, if you were looking at strictly dollars per hour, was sitting down making investor decisions of, is this the right time to buy? Is this the right time to sell? Is this the right property? Get to the point where, as an investor, hire out the busy work so you can stay focused on doing what's most important, which is making sure that your plan's on track. Second piece of advice, don't eat your future.
Yeah. If you make a lot of good money, then make sure it continues building and growing. Don't just live off of it. I've done that one. I learned that lesson too, dude. Kris, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, no worries.
Listen,
Thank you.
from all of us over here, man. Listen, shout out some comments for my buddy and brother-in-law, Kris, who, by the way, if you join my power team, if you click the link below, we're actually going to send you a copy of my book in the mail for free. Come out to one of my live events. Learn how you can engage the team and how we can help you become crazy successful in real estate. Because Kris has done in the last decade what you could do, what anyone can do. The reality is whether you have the dream and the ambition, because Kris did, and that made the difference. Also, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, got another video coming your way. And if you want that free book and free consultation to get with my team right now and say, how can I do what Kris did? I'm in a normal job, or I need to level up my job, or I'm in a great job, but either way, I need a custom game plan on how I'm gonna make my next $1 million. Click the link below. We got that coming to you next.